Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to New Japan Wrestling Dominion 2018 that happened on June 9th of Saturday this past weekend. I watched this event from yesterday all the way from 6 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have to tell you one thing, guys, this event was fucking fantastic from beginning to end. Not a dull moment in this event. A few here and there issues that I had with the show, but pay-per-view quality all around. Very entertaining stuff. I give this event a 95% out of 100 overall rating. So let's get into it, guys. I mean, this is by far the best, probably the best New Japan Wrestling event I have ever seen in my history of watching it, and I've only been watching it for the last year or two. So let's get into the matches, and I'll give you my overall rating for each match. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Title match with El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru defeated Roppongi 3K, Sho and Yo. This match was an okay match, nothing too big of a deal, only 9 minutes and something odd seconds, almost 10 minutes long, and they retained their tag titles. 3 out of 5 stars I'd give it. Then we had Juice Robinson and David Finlay defeating Jay White and Yoshihashi, with Jay White, the U.S. champion in New Japan Wrestling, being hit with the kill switch by Juice Robinson. This match was very entertaining stuff. Very funny. Juice Robinson, though, did say a couple of filthy words in this event that you normally don't hear in a wrestling show ever. Like, eat shit, you piece, eat this, you piece of shit, motherfucker, that kind of stuff. You normally don't hear in a wrestling event. That was kind of a little bit kind of like, whoa, holy crap, this is some weird shit. But good match overall, 3.5 out of 5 stars. The match lasted a little over 7 minutes long, and I believe Jay White is going to be defending his U.S. Championship against Juice Robinson at the upcoming event that's happening in the Cow Palace in San Francisco in July for the U.S. event that's happening for New Japan. We had the Suzuki Gun tag team. That's Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Tomohiro Ishii and Toru Yano. This match was really good, especially with Suzuki and Ashi. Ashi's actually a Japanese wrestler that reminds me a lot of Taz from ECW days. Very grueling competition between these two guys. I do see them competing one-on-one at a event at some point, probably being close to the main event or maybe even the main event match of some live event that they're going to conduct at some point during this year. So these two guys look like they could be formed into a rivalry and be developed throughout time into something even bigger. The match itself, Zack Sabre picked up the victory by submitting Toru Yano, who's not really that great of a wrestler. I wasn't really pleased with his wrestling ability. He's about the only sour part of this matchup that I didn't like. He's way too goofy. He fits a lot more with WWE, personally, if you think about it. He's not serious. He doesn't come across as a wrestling technician guy in the ring. I just was not very impressed with him at all. Very disappointed with that match in some ways, but most of it was very good. The match itself, I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Michael Elgin and Tachi versus Hiroko Goto for his never open weight championship match, which is a 3-way. Very good match. I give this match a 4 out of 5 stars. Decent work by all three men. Really enjoyed it from beginning to end. Nothing to complain about here. Michael Elgin actually wins his second championship belt in his time in New Japan Wrestling. It's a very decent match overall by him. The Young Bucks face Sonata and Evil for the IWGP Tag Team Championship belts. This is the heavyweight division. Young Bucks are getting their first opportunity for heavyweight tag team title gold. They performed extremely well, especially whether it was a real injuries or fake injuries to put on a more exciting, emotional matchup against these two guys with Evil and Sonata. But Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson were both dealing with some serious problems with Matt Jackson with his back and Nick Jackson with his leg when he accidentally whacked into the turnbuckle pole on the outside. Turnbuckle post, or the post, whatever the fuck you want to call the damn part of the ring. He actually whacks his leg into it. I mean, granted, you can tell he probably, if you want to believe anything happened to his leg, he may have bruised the bottom part of his ankle, and maybe that's what caused him to have any problems walking. But majority of the time, here and there, he had moments where he couldn't walk or jump, and then there was other times where he was walking and running perfectly fine. So, with all that being said, it could have been a work or it could have been an actual bruised ankle that he was dealing with during that match. So overall, these guys really put on a great match with Evil and Sonata. Good job by them. I do not see them holding on to the tag team titles, though, for very long. One, because the characters that they're playing with these injuries will play a toll on them overall storyline-wise. So it wouldn't be believable if they keep dealing with injuries, competing against guys that are much bigger than them and having such a disadvantage, not to mention height, but also injuries on top of it. So I do see them losing the titles probably either next month or the month after that. Somewhere around that time, they probably will be a month or 2 month champions, and that's about it. Match itself was a 4 out of 5 star match. Very happy and satisfied with the work by all 4 men. Very good job by all 4 guys in this matchup. Bullet Club versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, Justin Thunder Liger, and Rey Mysterio Jr. My God, man, seeing Rey Mysterio back in wrestling, period, in any kind of event, was fucking unbelievable. I haven't seen him wrestle for real in a very long time. He actually performed like he hasn't lost a step. The guy was very entertaining. I think he needs to stay away from the WWE spotlight. I don't think that's really his place anymore. WWE's kind of overstayed their welcome with his gimmick, and with him being in another wrestling organization, I think he's playing out tremendously well and looks fantastic. I think there's something he could get out of being in New Japan Wrestling. Unfortunately, though, I do think that Rey Mysterio should have been facing Will Ospreay for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. But that was not the case to be. We got Cody Rhodes, Hangman Page, and Marty Scurll facing those 3 other guys, and the Bullet Club of Cody Rhodes, Hangman Page, and Marty Scurll picking up the victory, with Cody Rhodes hitting the Crossroads, I believe, on Justin Liger. So that's pretty much the overall deal with that match. The match was decent overall. I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's disappointing Rey Mysterio didn't get the victory. I think he should have won that match, not Cody Rhodes. But it also helped him, by winning this match, get some sort of momentum to give him a reason to be given a title match, which was announced a couple of days later that he's going to face Kenny Omega for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, which, by the way, spoiler alert, before I even get to that match, Kenny Omega wins. So, there you go. But yeah, this match was decent. 3.5 out of 5 stars. Was very happy with that. Hiroshi Takahashi versus Will Ospreay for his IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. I have to say this. This match was fucking brutal. Will Ospreay needs to slow his fucking roll with his wrestling ability, because he is one day going to severely hurt himself. During this match, he did do a move off the ramp that I thought he literally broke his neck. He flipped, ran and flipped onto his opponent, landed on his neck on the outside of the ramp on the hardwood floor. And my God, I thought he broke his neck, but yet he was walking around like nothing ever happened. How that happened, I have no fucking idea. But he's an outstanding performer. But I do believe, like what Don Sellis and Kevin Kelly were talking about during his match, he needs to slow down at some point. He is 25 years old. He may shorten his career by 10 years probably. Because I do see this guy, if he plays his cards right and wrestles properly, to where he doesn't wrestle like that every match, he only does it once in a while to put on a good show, he will end up having a career that lasts till he's 40 years old, probably. But if he keeps doing shit like this, he probably won't last till he's 30. Because quite frank with you, that shit looked dangerous as hell, and I was worried for his own safety, because he looked like he was going to kill himself. Overall, though, great job by both of these guys. 4.5 out of 5 stars. Unbelievable matchup. Very excited about that one. I enjoyed every second of that. That match went over 20 minutes long. And there was a new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Hiromu Takahashi. I have a problem with some of these names. Excuse me for the fact that I was fucking up. Chris Jericho faced the IWGP Intercontinental Champion, Naito. Naito, he got his ass kicked by Jericho, but then it flipped after 10 minutes of getting his ass kicked that Jericho got his ass kicked. So Naito got a little bit of advantage during that match. These two guys went back and forth. I was very satisfied with everything that happened in this one. Jericho is a fucking stud in New Japan Wrestling. He doesn't need to go back to WWE. He found his new niche. He found his place to continue to do his craft in professional wrestling. That is where he needs to stay. He belongs in New Japan Wrestling because he puts on the best effort, the best heart in that ring, and also promoting the match. He does an outstanding job. He plays an evil villain very well. He is outstanding at what he does in New Japan Wrestling. They allow him to use his creativity at the fullest. WWE restricts him. They make him sound retarded. They make him sound ridiculous. They gave him a funny little gimmick where you just made the list kind of shit, which I find amusing and I think it's funny and something he could continue to use in New Japan Wrestling if he wanted to. But overall, this character he's playing in comparison to the character he played in WWE is fucking fantastic. I enjoy watching him in the ring. I enjoy him outside the ring. I enjoy the little promos that they put on before he got in the ring with Naito. He is playing this evil villain character of hating Japan to the max. He's doing an outstanding job with his character. Kudos to him all the way. He may not be the greatest wrestler anymore that he used to be because he's getting older and he's also a little out of shape, in my personal opinion. I think he needs to tuck up his stomach a little bit more, lose a little bit of weight, or get more muscle in his stomach. But other than his stomach being a little pudgy, the guy still can wrestle. Maybe unable to wrestle the way he used to, but he can still put on a good enough show to get you entertained and spend your time watching him from beginning to end in his match. He ends up winning the match anyway with a low blow and a code breaker on Naito by pushing the referee away. Perfect WWE type heel shit. Loved it. I thought that was perfect for him. I think that was the best thing. You don't normally see that in New Japan Wrestling either, so he brought a touch of the United States Wrestling into New Japan Wrestling, pretty much making United States wrestlers look like a bunch of fucking cheap artists. But who fucking cares? But honestly, great matchup for him. I enjoyed watching both of these guys. I was a little disappointed Naito lost the title. I don't think Jericho needed to win the championship because I didn't think he was staying with New Japan. But the looks of it, he's staying there for a little bit longer. I don't see him leaving New Japan until the end of this year. So, whatever's going on with him and WWE, who fucking cares? Stay with New Japan. You're doing fantastic, Jericho. Keep your rock band, play with, and go do your thing with New Japan, because they're fucking making you look like $1 million. Jericho wins the match. Overall match was 4 out of 5 stars. Kenny Omega versus Okada. No limit. No time limit. 2 out of 3 falls. For the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, Kenny Omega walks away winning the title, becoming the new champion, finally ending the 2-year reign of Okada. This match was unfucking real. Would I say this match was overkill? Yes. Would I say it was overdrawn out? Yes. The match lasted over an hour, 4 minutes, and 50 seconds to be exact. This match really shouldn't have lasted, but maybe tops 45 minutes. This match went a little too over my liking. But at the end of the day, did it tell a very good story between these two guys? They have a 1.5-year story from Wrestle Kingdom in 2017 all the way up to Dominion. The year before they had this last match, the year before, they put on an hour-long matchup that ended up being a draw. And then finally, this year, they finally have their fourth actually, their rubber match, and finally, the one that wins it all is Kenny Omega walking out with a 2-1 victory over Okada in matches between the two. 4 out of 4 matches. There's a draw, 2 wins by Kenny Omega, and 1 win by Okada. A lot of knee triggers, a lot of finishers, hit, constantly rainmakers, all kinds of shit you would see in WWE. But these guys played out their act very well. They made you believe they were hurting, which they really did look like they were fucking hurting. They put on a hell of a match for everyone who watched. And for those 12,000 people in Osaka Hall, they got the best treat out of anybody. Those people that were watching that event live were given an unbelievable treat of professional wrestling. If I could have been there, I would have. This is by far the best quality of wrestling I have ever seen. There are a few things I didn't like about this matchup. And it's the long drawn out match with being an hour long for 2 out of 3 falls. And then on top of it getting a consistent repetitive moves over and over again. But regardless of all that, it was still telling you a great story between these two guys that they built up a year ago. A 1.5 years ago to be exact. So overall, I have to give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed this match more than anything on the card. It was worth the hour though, even though I believe it was too long and drawn out. At this point in time, there's nothing to be said. New Japan Wrestling killed WWE's momentum in anything for the rest of this year. This was the pay-per-view event of all pay-per-views of the year. This was the pay-per-view of the year. There's nothing nobody can do to outdo this show. This show is fucking superb from beginning to end. There's nothing you can say. That's all I have to say on this event. Leave your comments and opinions down below. I definitely check out the event. It is 5 hours long. Check out the matches you really care about watching, and the ones that you don't, well, don't check them out. That way you don't have to waste your time in watching 5 hours. But I did it because every match to me seemed very important. A lot of these characters I've grown to like after seeing some of the events, and I like somehow how some of them perform. So I wanted to watch any of them that I liked in those matches perform in that event. So that's basically the whole rundown on that. But anyway, guys, leave your comments and opinions down below. Hit the like button if you liked the video, and hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And thanks a lot very much for watching.